Police investigate weapons incident on Limbrick Street. Highways are back open after multiple crashes. And a tentative agreement reached in Quebec. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Thunder Bay Police are investigating a weapons incident that occurred last night in the Limbrick Street area. Officers were dispatched shortly before 9 p.m. after receiving reports of multiple gunshots being heard in the Limbrick neighborhood. The emergency task unit also responded and a drone was deployed while police combed the area. Officers were still on scene this morning as the Major Crimes Unit has taken over the investigation. A window in one of the units was broken. However, it doesn't appear anyone was struck by any of the bullets, as there were no reported injuries. Police say they don't believe there's a threat to public safety at this time. Anyone with information is asked to contact City Police or Crime Stoppers. An auto pedestrian collision in Fort Frances has now turned into a fatality. Rainy River OPP say it happened just after 6:30 p.m. on December 20th. Police and EMS responded to 2nd Street East, where a 29-year-old woman was found with life-threatening injuries and transported to hospital. OPP were informed on Christmas Eve that the victim had passed away. The Northwest Region Traffic Unit and the Collision Reconstruction Team continue to investigate. Highways around the region are all back open as of this hour after freezing rain yesterday and overnight caused poor road conditions and several crashes involving transports. This transport lost control and flipped over into the ditch yesterday afternoon on Highway 11 between Geraldton and Long Lac. It doesn't appear there were any serious injuries. The highway there was shut down for a few hours as a result of black ice. Then yesterday evening, 2 transports collided near Chappaqua once again. No serious injuries were reported. The OPP announced at 9 o'clock last night that Highway 17 between Chappaqua and Ignace and Highway 11 between Chappaqua and Atikokan were both closed due to road and weather conditions. The 2 highways reopened this morning. Thunder Bay has been seeing anything but normal temperatures as of late. The 2 local ski hills, Mount Baldy and Loch Lomond, have been doing everything they can to keep a few runs open during this abnormal ski season. Joe Sadowski has the story.
While Thunder Bay is smashing high temperature records for the early part of the winter season, the local ski hills have been working day and night to remain open while being patient and optimistic for colder weather.
It's a lot of work to get them open, but now we're in survival mode, pretty well just hoping that the weather's going to change.
Mount Baldy, which has been open since early November, currently has the Hornet, Gold, and Shotgun runs open and want the skiing community to know they still have lots of snow for a great day on the slopes.
Just lots of long hours and a really good crew around here making it happen, believe it or not. And when it comes to snow and 3 days of rain, that doesn't really work out so hot, but here we are again after Christmas. We still have lots of snow. People would never believe that when you look outside your door. It's all green grass. I mean, pretty well you could go and get your golf clubs out, which is the most crazy thing I've ever seen in a long time.
Meanwhile, down the highway, Loch Lomond is facing the same harsh conditions, but see the current weather as an early opportunity for spring skiing in December and have some exciting events planned in the coming days.
Thankfully for our groomers and our snowmakers, we have an absolutely beautiful base back here on the south side, and we will be running tomorrow from 10 till 9 p.m. It is our first night skiing ski, so everyone please come out and ski with us night skiing. We are looking forward to the temperatures dropping, and hopefully we'll have even a better south side and a beginning of a north for you for next week.
When we asked the operators at both ski hills about the possibility of closing up shop until Mother Nature is more kind, Baldy and Loch staff both said not a chance.
You know, did the thought ever cross your mind to close for this week or to close for an extended period of time?
I wouldn't do that to my customers. We're just going to try to make it happen.
As far as Jason Gary, the owner, says, we are scheduled to be open, and we are open. We've got the base to stay open, and we're still hoping for the temperatures to drop. We've been amazed with how well man-made snow has held up with Mother Nature's temperaments.
Our ski hills are not the only ones facing the adversity of our current weather conditions. Ski hills all over North America are battling the warm winter season, but when the cold and snow finally come our way, the local hills will be in tip-top shape. Joe Sadowski, TBT News.
Meanwhile, local cross-country skiers haven't been as lucky this year, as the Canview Nordic Centre has yet to open for the season. General Manager Dave Suddy says the lack of snow has been frustrating for everyone.
In years past, we usually have some snow on the ground and a little bit of skiing going, but yeah, this year is definitely a little late.
At this time last year, Canview and all its trails were completely open. However, today there was no snow in sight. Suddy says they were able to make a little bit of snow early on this season, but weren't able to make enough to open due to their machinery needing consistent temperatures of -10 and below. He says for now, all they can do is wait for Mother Nature to bring snow.
Next steps here, we're just making sure I've got all the finishing touches on the snowmaking that I can do, and it's just hurry up and wait now. Once we get things going here, it should be hopefully a super choice season, but right now it's not looking great. But to everybody out there, just keep doing a snow dance and pray to whoever you pray for some cold weather and snow, and we'll get things going.
Updates for when the Canview Nordic Centre will be open can be found on their website. Indigenous Services Minister Patty Hajdu says there should be no service interruptions for Indigenous patients as a result of the financial issues facing Wekadon Lodge. The organization, which provides lodging and rides for patients from remote communities, announced earlier this month that they've had to reduce services and lay off dozens of staff. Lee Noonan reports.
Wekadon Lodge provides accommodation and other services for Indigenous people traveling to Thunder Bay to access medical care. Wekadon Executive Director Donna Crookmo met with Patty Hajdu, Minister for Indigenous Services Canada, in August, but Hajdu says she's generally leaving the matter in the hands of Indigenous Services officials.
I have personally been assured by the department that services that Wekadon is providing for out-of-community stays and support won't be interrupted as a result of this ongoing fiscal challenge.
Wekadon had been coordinating hotel stays for patients when the lodge was at capacity, but not anymore. They're now directing people to Indigenous Services instead, something Hajdu says her ministry was already handling for patients across the country.
You know, the First Nations Inuit Health Branch does that kind of work every single day for thousands and thousands of people, and I will make sure that they understand that it's important that there is a reorientation if any client is turned away from Wekadon Lodge.
Hajdu says the services Wekadon provides are essential, and her ministry will continue to provide service-level funding, but that officials also need to get a better understanding of Wekadon's finances.
It is the officials that are working right now on their particular financial situation to understand where things are working, where things are not working, and how we can ensure that patients don't get caught in the fray.
According to Wekadon, the lodge is regularly seeing 350 clients a day, but can only handle about 155 with their current funding. They project a $6 million deficit this fiscal year. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
Northwest Region OPP are reminding drivers that they still conduct traffic enforcement on Christmas Day. This after a trio of stunt driving arrests were made on Monday in several parts of the region. The first one occurred in the Nipigon area. An SUV was spotted traveling 154 kilometers an hour along Highway 1117. The driver apparently told the officer they were speeding because they had to use a washroom. The next one occurred on Highway 17 in the town of Ignace. The driver was caught doing 93 kilometers per hour in a 50K zone. A little later on Christmas Day, this transport cab was clocked going 94 kilometers an hour through Ignace. All three drivers received a 30-day license suspension and a 14-day vehicle impoundment. The Salvation Army's Christmas Kettle campaign has managed to surpass its 2023 fundraising goal, but just barely. The target was $260,000, and the campaign raised just over $261,000. The kettles were set up around the city in mid-November and wrapped up on Christmas Eve. All money raised through the kettles ensures that funding will be in place year-round for the Salvation Army's various services, including food programs and the Journey to Life Center. Executive Director Gary Ferguson says they understand it's been a difficult year for everyone, and they're grateful for all the support they've received. Salvation Army is still accepting donations at their headquarters and online. Well, turning to weather now, Fiona, still no snow from Mother Nature. None that's sticking.
No, and in Thunder Bay, this very much reminded me of the Christmas I spent in London, England. It was cold, it was wet, and it was very dark, and that was because no sunshine, a lot of cloud, and in a lot of cases, a lot of fog and mist. Here in the city of Thunder Bay, we had a lot of mist and cloud, winds very light from the northeast, 5 to 12 kilometers per hour, and not a lot of movement in temperatures. We had a low of 1 and a high of 3, but it was so damp, you can't even enjoy going out in the milder temperatures. Now, across the region, Fort Frances never really strayed from the freezing mark today. They're still at it now, and they've got a lot of fog in the region. Similar temperatures in Atikokan, and we slipped just below the freezing mark in Upsala, Dryden. Kenora is currently at -2. Red Lake stayed just below freezing today. They're currently at -3, minimal wind chill. It maybe feels closer to about -5. Now, they did have some sunshine, so it is out there somewhere. But at this hour, the sun has gone down, and they're just seeing just a few clouds. -2 in Sioux Lookout, Armstrong, and into Greenstone. They're at their high for the day. They've had cloud, they've had mist, a little bit of light rain, and a period of snow. So literally everything mixed in the Greenstone and Armstrong region. Along the North Shore, Nipigon's currently at 1-0 in Marathon, and Sault Ste. Marie has been fluctuating between 4 and 5 Celsius for almost 24 hours straight, with, again, drizzle, fog, mist, cloud. As long as it's gray, that's what's in the sky. Now, currently in the city of Thunder Bay, we are above the freezing mark, but tonight we will slip below -1 and a wind chill of -7, because we too are finally going to see some clearing. As we head into Thursday, temperatures are going to once again pop back up above the freezing mark. It's looking fairly dry, but if we take a look further west, not a whole lot of opportunity for snow in the next few days, and I'll have more details on how long that dry spell could last later on in the news hour.
Well, thank you so much, Fiona. Well, the Quebec government has reached a tentative agreement with the Labour Alliance of Public Sector Workers. We'll have all that information for you as your Wednesday News Hour continues.